This is Throne and Liberty. We're here on PlayStation 5. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a free-to-play MMORPG experience where you get to pick your character, select from a variety of weapons what your particular class of desire is, and go out into the greater open world battling things. Now, this is like most MMORPG experiences where you will be fighting enemies and whatnot in certain areas, but what is interesting is that this game doesn't fall into necessarily the same pitfalls of that in the terms of kind of having more of a story structuring to it and having some different missions that aren't just like, hey, go kill this thing over and over again. And you know, it's actually a pretty good looking game. So this is the opening segment of this particular experience where we're kind of doing the tutorial type thing, but I have a lot more experience taking a look at this on the Xbox side of things, and I thought we would look at it on PlayStation 5 as well, because I mean it just sort of makes sense to do so. So yeah, what are we getting here? Well, it is a dynamic 4K resolution, 60 FPS. You are going to notice that there are performance issues and holdups, some technical stuff here or there, but overall it's a pretty good, well-running experience and has a good sense of scope and scale to it in terms of what it offers. And you can play it alone or you can play it with others. There's PvP, there's PvE, there's all these different dynamics and instances of combat and like world events and things going on. And yeah, it's got like a unique sort of vibe to it gameplay wise, where you are diving in and, you know, really kind of picking things. Like at the beginning, the game sort of is like, hey, you can have, you know, like choose a wide range of different things. Like you can be like a wizard with a staff, or you can have a wand, or you can be a swordsman or a magician of some other sorts. And then from there you kind of pick what you like, and then you sort of keep improving that ability. You keep working forward, and yeah, it's quite interesting gameplay-wise in terms of offering you a lot of different things to do for your different, like, because it's open in classes and its approach, but you still get, you know, the choices here to there. Yeah, let's just skip ahead here and get into the action. That's a very, very slow skip. The character customizer is pretty great too, definitely like face and everything like that. I do wish there were more options though for the body type stuff, but I think that has to do with the costumes and the cosmetics that you get to choose. But seriously, it is pretty in-depth. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering if I can just get away with doing the same name, or if this is kind of locked from a perspective of platforms. Its name is already in use, okay. Sky Fallen for you? Yeah. I'm Sky Fallen for you. But no, there's a good sense of scale. Like, I think visually this is pretty great in terms of like the design and everything like that. It's like most kind of MMORPGs when they first come out, and they have this like really impressive visual aesthetic, and then over time it's mostly about the meat of the content that they add and the things that they put into this game. So we're starting off here in the tutorial land area. So we get a map, and then you can open the map up and you can see that we're on like an island. So it's like basically it's like a safety island, and then you get to the mainland, Losland, and there's all these different areas. And there's actually quite a lot of content to this game, and you'd actually be pleasantly surprised at the well, the amount of things you come across and see in this game. And as I said, it's quite aesthetically pleasing. I think they did a pretty good job with the sense of like scale and wonder to this one. It's quite nice, but you should see it on the Series S. Whew. Yeah, that is quite something. But no, it's pretty neat, especially when you get more into the open world segment of it. I don't necessarily think it like breaks the mold too much from like what an MMORPG is, but it is pretty nice looking. It definitely is something that is for the current generation of console gaming, and yeah, I think it kind of hits the mark in that sense, gameplay wise. I brought the map. Yeah, let's just keep going here. There's a lot of chatter stuff in that, and then you get into a greater conflict. It's also a good selection of enemies, and I like that it doesn't really just push you to fight enemies all the time. Like, there's a part where you get to goblins, and you just gotta fight goblins for a bit, which is weird, but other than that, they got lots of different things. There's, like, bird creatures, and there's, like, weird crustaceans, and there's always, like, a story bit, too, to this. Like, they actually do try to inject lore when they can. Like, you'll basically be, you know, kind of diving in, and when you get to, like, a waypoint, or a way shrine, or whatever, you'll essentially be sort of given like a bit of an overlay, being like, okay, so here's the situation, here's what's going on here, and you know, it gives you the context and everything like that of what exactly the fighting is and why this region's become corrupted, and they have like these animated sequences that you know, give you an idea of like what exactly happened to these spaces to make these monsters all crazy looking. And yeah, it's kind of neat. You can also hold L2, and then you can go to camera settings if you want to change the zoom in and the zoom out of your character, because I know some people want to see a little bit closer, some want to see a little bit further away in terms of gameplay. And that really is up to you and how you want to, you know, basically take in this sort of experience. There's also some UI options in terms of like changing how the scale of your UI is, but I think this is pretty good for like a 4K screen. Again, it was something I sort of noticed with the, when I was taking a look at this on the Series S, I was like, ooh, you know, the UI is all weird on that one because it has a different resolution target and whatnot. There we go, we got a grappling hook. A little bit of an easier way to get around. And speaking of getting around, obviously you've seen that I've been a wolf-dog creature thing for a while. There's different environmental things depending on where you are going. So if you are in the water, you could be like an otter. If you are flying in the air, you can unleash the power of like this, like different birds. So, and then you can choose these creatures too. You can be like, oh, I want to get, you know, I want to have a different animal or whatever. You unlock that. And then you get like this cutesy thing that like follows you around and supports you. And we're going to be getting that in a sec here called like Helpy. And then once Helpy's kind of gone, you eventually start moving on to like different types of basically helper creatures and stuff. And they're like these cute crochet monster things, which are quite a lot of fun. And yeah, it's kind of neat. Oh, we actually have to go kill this thing over here. Lottie can't get this done. Come on, Lottie, what are you doing out there? And there's actually quite a few characters you can run into. I've noticed there's like a lot of different characters across the different places you go. So you actually meet a lot of individuals, and yeah, it doesn't have like the deepest level of scale in terms of narrative in that, but it, you know, kind of suffices. It gets the job done. Pushes you along from place to place. It's kind of neat in that regard. Did we miss another creature? What are you doing, Lottie? You gotta move towards the pulley lift, I think. Unless I'm missing another monster that I have to kill. But yeah, when you get to the open world area, there's a lot of like scale and stuff like that. I think you can see that here in this area because it's like tutorial Whispering Island. But there really is a great sense of distance, and it's not like a small kind of area, right? Like you actually do get to see big mountains in the distance and actually go to the different places. And yeah, it's actually pretty well done from that perspective in terms of actually making you feel like you're in this crazy fantasy place. Yeah, let's keep going up here. We'll get this thing. And the combat is like pretty easy going too. Like you kind of like light interact with things, and your character basically does an auto attack, and then you've got these different UI option things in order to kind of do your different combative spells. And you got to customize and personalize all your skills and that with the different abilities you get over time, right? Because it's, you know, a game where you level and improve your character and try to get better and be able to do more damage and stuff. Makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you know, most role-playing games, especially ones with multiplayer connections. And then you come up here, you teleport to this thing, and you get this, like, critter, which is pretty cool. And you can see, oh, I can fly, whispering emit away, that thing. Helpy, it's an adorable little critter. Yeah, it's just there to help. Okay, let's use its help and go fight some stuff.
You defeated the black Mitrans that appeared where the fireball.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, let's open this up and let's get fighting. And then there's lots of different tools and everything you can have. And you can fly. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? You get to be a bird thing and the sky is like battling down, and we've got some big monsters to deal with. It's pretty cool. Like, I think the opening really does a good job of kind of like setting the stage here in terms of like combat and what's at stake and whatnot. I don't know if it really gives you a lot of context in regards to like the greater conflict, but certainly lets you know what's happening. How did this guy get ahead of me, considering he was behind me? We have to go take out the orc turret. Yeah, let's go collect things. It's the Eye of Saruman. And for like, you know, the pacing of the game is really good too. Just in terms of like sending you to different areas pretty quickly, not making you feel as though you're getting like stuck at any point. You know, you're actually moving along. It does seem like the leveling catches up with you a bit, I noticed. Just in terms of like at a certain point you'll be like, oh wow, this is been a little crazier and stuff like that, which is neat. Orc soldier, okay. Yeah, I did love that that part of it came up, but it doesn't seem too grindy or ridiculous from what I've played and taken a look at. I'm actually quite liking what they've put together with this one. It's kind of a nice current-gen, modern MMORPG, which is about what you can expect and ask for. King Vertes. Oh no, what are we going to do? Oh, and there is some like texture load-in type issues that pop up, depending on if you move to areas really quickly, but it's not too bad once you're traveling within a space. Oh no, it's a giant orc monster thing. Okay, let's kill this stuff. This thing's crazy. I also really like it when you get into like large world instances where you are fighting against like these big creatures and kind of like working as a team to accomplish that kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But no, I really do think this is something that if you are into this like genre of gameplay, you can actually have a fair bit of fun working on this and battling and questing. And yeah, they do attempt to do a little bit more story focus. They do attempt to have a little bit more lore to the world. I always appreciate that kind of thing because a lot of these games are pretty like by the numbers, you know what I mean? You go in, you fight some stuff, you go to the next area, and you kind of do your PvP and your endgame stuff, but this one does, at least to a degree, attempt to like break the mold, as to say. See, look, this helpy, this is an adorable little thing, is what that is. Oh no, what's happening? Giant creature thing, yeah, that's great and all, and then I unleash the power of the axe thing, because the guy's like, hit it in the face, and you're like, the face is a weakness to an enemy? No way. Then it explodes, everybody's happy. I get a flashback to depression.
Hey, wake up.
They all say wake up, this creature's like, hey, let's go. And then we're gonna get like an epic opening here in a sec that kind of gives us the context of the big area we're headed towards, which is cool, but yeah, just like a little bit of a tease almost in terms of the scope of this one. I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. And then there's our buddy. Speak with the whispering. Oh, we gotta speak with the little critter. Come on, we got places to go, things to see. Yeah, that's great. Get to the top of the spire. Yeah, speak with this clay guy. Benny, healer. Oh yeah, okay, up here. I don't know, I find that like the visuals and stuff look kind of lovely. Especially for this type of game, I think they're pretty good.
You did good.
I did do good, thank you. Oh look, it's working now. Magical. Okay, let's get to the next area. Yeah. You saved me when I was young, something like that. You're old now. Let's go see where Lunar will take me. And this is where you get like a really beautiful opening thing that kind of showcases the scale and the scope of the world. This is actually quite majestic, honestly. Yeah, it's a beautiful opening to the world, and it kind of gives you an idea of the landmass that you're going to go see as you go on your adventure. Your two friends that you don't even really say goodbye to, they're just kind of like, hey, hi. I mean, who cares about these two, right? I've got an adventure to go on, questing to see, things to do. Oh, and the music in this game is pretty good. Fly like an eagle. Yeah, it's actually pretty lovely. Oh, and then the giant whale thing. The whale island thing is so cool. You see it flying around occasionally. It's awesome. Why would I ever leave this island? It actually is quite magical, this segment. We'll show some of it. Your name is Helpy? This thing needs to be a plushie. But yeah, they are like crochet Muppet type things. Look at the giant whale. NC presents. This is what I was talking about, where like you really get to see like this is like, I don't know if this is a pre-rendered thing or something like that, but it was like this on Xbox too, where it's got like this really muddy like I think it's slow texture loading or something like that. Like this is a terrible early. This even looks worse than it did on Xbox. And this isn't trying to knock PlayStation at all. This actually looks worse for some reason. I don't... Like, it looked terrible on the Series X side of things, but, like, on the PS5 side of things, it looks absolutely, like, even worse, this opening segment. I do not understand why this would be your big opening to the world if it looked like this. Like, I mean, if it doesn't look like this, I'm sure this is, like, a gorgeous opening. Like, simply stunning, because it, like, shows off all the regions. But, like, yeah, it's just kind of, like, I don't know why it you know, looks like this. It's very strange. But seriously, the world itself looks way, way better than that does. Like, it doesn't do it justice, right? Throne and Liberty! That's actually pretty cool. Although, I think they didn't go to the video game school of you're supposed to put that up over top of a, you know, you're supposed to be on a cliff looking over the cliff, and then it's supposed to say that. But this is when you get to the open world, and this is when things really start opening up, and you get, like, a complete sense of freedom. You can tell, though, that there's definitely performance issues in that when you're going through the world, and hopefully they get that all cleaned up and fixed, but it makes sense like that. And then you get all these quests and different like side things to do and main stuff to do. This is what I was talking about for the lore stones, though. You touch a lore stone, it's going to go into a big thing kind of explaining a little area of the region. There's like a D&D type narrator, which is really cool in this game too. But yeah, this kind of gives you a sense of the scope of it. Like literally all those areas back there, you're able to like go around them. I think it's more like the base of that mountain, you go around the side of it. But you know, the coastline, the lighthouse, you get to go to all these places and see all these things. And you know, there's a changing day and night cycle and weathering, and yeah, you can like rain and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You know, like a lot of this stuff is just kind of like chatter and characters, and then you eventually get to actually go out and see things. And like I guess we could basically do that too, but it's good to kind of get the context here. Yeah, let's skip the research stuff and let's go out into the world so you can actually see like a little bit of it, just a bit of a tease. But no, it's this real nice sense of freedom, and as I was saying, for the main island here, you can really just kind of go out on this majestic, lengthy open world sort of adventure. Like it really does sort of hit the mark well. And I gotta say, coming from the Series S last night, and you know, Series X was great, PS5 looks equivalent to the Series X in this situation, and then like, you know, seeing the Series S last night, that was like a nightmare in terms of like what they have to downgrade. Like I have a video for that one that's up or coming. I would highly recommend taking a look at it just for kind of the laughs of the cutbacks they have to do for that version. But no, it's kind of a neat sort of MMORPG. I hope this sort of showed it off a bit for you on the PlayStation side of things, gave you an idea of what this has to offer and what they're going for, as I do think there is some potential for this, and something that you can find fun if you're looking for a new massive role-playing multiplayer game like this to sink your teeth into. I think there is something here for sure. Yeah, something to dive into and enjoy, I would think.